Hey, what's up guys, and thanks for tuning into the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Saint Seiya Saint Cloth Myth EX Andromeda Shun Final Bronze Cloth. But before we get started, if you haven't yet already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another awesome review. Now, this figure was just released. I think this was released last week, so I just got around to being able to actually take a look at it. So the box is actually fairly nice, fairly compact. On the front here, we see Shun in his final bronze cloth version with the chains, and here we see the Andromeda kind of diagram here. We got Saint Cloth Myth EX Andromeda Shun Final Bronze Cloth. Here we see the logo for the Saint Cloth Myth EX. We got Bandai Tamashii Nation quality. We also have a new Bandai Namco sign that I never actually saw before. On the top here we got Saint Cloth Myth EX Andromeda Shun Final Bronze Cloth. On the side we have the object mode of the Andromeda Bronze Cloth. On this side we have Shun firing off his Thunder Wave. And on the bottom, we just got a bunch of words and warnings and stuff, as well as Shun. And of course, on the back, we got a little bit more of the product details here. We have Shun, which is the same photo as this one here. We have him throwing his rolling defense, if I remember correctly, which is basically a defensive form of his chain. We have the object mode, as well as 5 different faces for Shun. And something to note is that this release actually comes with a little statue of Ikki holding Shun when they were children. So that's actually really cool. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack this guy open and see what he has to offer. Alright, and here we are back with the Andromeda Final Bronze Cloth all assembled, as well as the unarmored Shun. So starting off here, let's take a quick look at this cloth form. So this is very cool. Something that I have noticed with these final bronze versions is that the further they go, the more expressive they are compared to the first. That was a nice hair. The first bronze version to the new, and then now finally to the final bronze version. Definitely the expression, the dynamicness, or dynamicity rather, of the object mode has really changed. It feels like there's so much more expression, so much more character to these object modes rather than just a simple static statue. So that's really cool. Here we see the Andromeda, kind of the goddess or the person, with these chains wrapped around her arms and then all spread out kind of around the body here. It's pretty much all in this metallic rose gold, which is really cool. Coming around to the back, very clean. Doesn't really seem like there's anything that's really out of place. Very nice. And we also have a kind of curved horn compared to some of the older ones, which are definitely more kind of linear. So it's very cool. Not very involved, but still really gets the point across. So there is that. I'm going to drop that here. And let's get a quick look at Shun. So here we have Shun. It actually comes with the kind of the armored hands now, because I feel like Bandai really knows at this point that it's pointless to have the flesh-colored hands, because no one's really going to display the unarmored character like this, because it would just look really weird. So either you display the cloth object or you display the armored version of the character. So that's why I feel like they just included this, which is, I honestly understand and I actually do appreciate, because that's just a less pair of hands to lose and stuff like that. So really nice. Face sculpt is very cool. I love the expression, very Shun-like, very feminine. Very cool. Very simple, nothing to see here. In terms of articulation, head is on a ball hinge, base of the neck is on a ball joint, so we got some nice articulation there. We have butterfly joints for the shoulders here. We have a ball joint all the way around, a hinge that goes out to 90. We have a bicep rotation right here, double jointed elbow, which gets you pretty good, a ball hinge at the wrist. Getting these arms out of the way here, we have an ab crunch that goes forward about there, as well as an extension that doesn't really get you anywhere. We have a swivel at the waist, legs that kick forward this far, back about there, out to the side, pretty good, better than most figure arts, I must say. We have a thigh rotation right here, a double bend at the knee, which gets you pretty much close to 180, a swivel at the ankle, a ankle rocker that goes forward that much and down this much, pivots that gets you to 45, as well as a toe pivot that gets you to about there. Now, of course, if we're checking for sturdiness, quality control, this guy's pretty good. Okay, never mind. You just slapped me in the face. Not the best here, but I mean, he also does not come with that much armor compared to say like a god or a god warrior or a gold cloth. So it's actually not too bad. I think I can deal with this. Now I did notice that this ankle is a little loose. This one's not so bad. So hopefully this doesn't really impede with the overall stability of the character. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take all of the armor off of the Andromeda Bronze Cloth object mode, and then I'm going to then equip that onto Shun, and I'll actually show that all on camera. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And here we have Shun all armored up in the final version of the Andromeda Bronze Cloth. So bringing him in close here for a nice look. You can see very, very nice design. I love the kind of rose gold, but that was obviously seen in the object mode. And honestly, with these humanoid object modes, you basically just kind of transfer the armor onto the human. It's not really much of a difference here, so but yeah, I mean, it looks really, really cool. Very, very clean. He seems to have now gained thigh armor, which the previous version does not have, which we'll take a look at a second as well. We do have kind of a nice lower leg design here. These are actually separate pieces. There's a top piece and the bottom piece kind of slides on. So the back of the leg is actually exposed, but I really do like the design, how this one folds over the other one. And also, it looks like this chest piece almost kind of fits right into that groove of this belt piece, which is really cool as well. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty much standard Andromeda. Now, in terms of plastic quality, the only thing you're going to find are the handguards as well as the helm, which we'll take a look at in a second. But everything else on this guy is actually metal. Even this lower leg armor, usually these lower leg armors are actually plastic, and I was really impressed to see that these were metal, so that's a really nice touch. I'll put him here. Let's take a quick look at some of the accessories that this guy comes with. So, starting off here, let's just take a quick look at his other set of arm guards. So, we see on him now he has these arm guards, right? And these are actually one solid piece. But if you remember, Andromeda is the guy with the chains, or rather the girl with the chains, or the guy. Depends on how you look at it. So here we have a set of arm guards that have a big notch on them. And what these are actually made for is, if you swap those arm guards out and you put these on, you can actually use the chains with these arm guards. So basically how it fits is something like this. These don't actually snap together. They basically just fit on the arm. So now he actually has the chains off his hands instead of just no chains on those arm guards right there. And these are fairly simple to switch out. I'll just kind of demonstrate real quick how this works. So on this side, how you would do it is you would just take and pull the hand right off. You would take this arm guard off, and I already looked at the instructions. These are the same left to right, so it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide this on, just like so. And then we're going to take, because this is the right arm is always the attack arm, we're going to find the triangle chain, which is this one right here. So we're going to take this piece, and we're going to just slide it on here, so that it kind of fits perfectly into that groove piece. And then we're going to take our hand and we just slide it on. However, because now he has the chains, we should give him the hands that actually hold the chains. And he does come with a pair of hands that hold the chains. So these are the pair of hands that hold onto the chains. And since we're here, we might as well just take a look at all the other hands. We have kind of big claw hands. I'm actually not sure what these are for. Could be for holding his helm, or could be for kind of some kind of attack here. So that's that. We have two kind of relaxed open palm hands, just like so. And we have two of these. If I can remember correctly, these are his attack hands. Thunder Wave and Rolling Defense. So yeah, that is that. Now, of course, like I said, we're going to switch the hands with these grabbing hands. So, of course, we want to take our old fist hand. We're going to take this armor piece, just pop that right off. Very simple. We don't need this fist anymore. We're going to plop this onto this hand piece. Just make sure that fits in nice and snug. And now we're going to just pop this onto the wrist. Make sure everything fits just like that. And of course, finally, we're just going to take this chain and we're just going to put it in his hand. Easy. That was actually pretty easy. So now we have Shun holding the chain. Now, for the other one, I will do that off camera towards the end, and I will have it for the photos. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to do this one side. So that is that. Now let's take a look at some of the faces here. So we have neutral smiling face, kind of slightly smiling face right here. So we're gonna leave that here. Let's take a look at some of the other faces that this guy comes with. So he comes with a gritting the teeth face. Also notice these features are very feminine. They're very like tightly packed together compared to some of the other guys that we got. So there's that. We have a screaming face. We have a really smiling kind of almost, I don't know, sad face? Hard to say. And we have a closed eyes. Look at those big lashes. And to change the face, fairly easy. What we're going to do is just take this front hairpiece and just pop that right off. And here we have the face. We can just take that off. And let's give him a gritting the teeth face. So basically what you can do, you can just plop that on here. It kind of fits snug into that hairpiece. Then we're going to take these 5 pegs that we see here. We're going to plop them back into that head right there. So this is how he would look like with a different face and the same kind of hair. However, if you want to give him the helm, what you can do instead is, again, take this front hairpiece off. Sometimes the face can stay, sometimes it doesn't, so it depends. In this case, it stays, so we don't really need to worry about it. So we're going to take this hairpiece. We don't need this anymore. We're going to take a new hairpiece, you see, with a big groove on top. And what this is for is to accommodate this helm piece. You can see there's 2 kind of tabs here that's going to go to these 2 holes. I'm just going to line this up. Make sure it fits. Then we're going to take these 3 holes and we're going to peg them onto these 3 holes onto his head. And just make sure everything lines up well. Make sure everything fits nice and snug. And here we have Andromeda Shun with a different face as well as with his helm. Very, very cool. So that is that. Now we're almost done with accessories here. We have 2 more additional accessories. So here we have a kind of fixed position Thunder Wave. This is his attack where he strikes out with the chain and the chain will pretty much find his target wherever it is. So this is Thunder Wave, and what you would do with this is you would pop that hand off. I'm not going to show this on camera because it's quite a bit of work and it's actually very fiddly. You'll pop that hand off, you would slide this over the arm guard, and then you would actually put the hand back on. And this actually works the best with this armor piece. So what I can show you is how this thing just slides right in. So even with this, it's still quite fiddly. And you want to make sure you don't scratch any paint. So basically what this would be is, this would kind of just be like this. And you would kind of attach the hand onto that and that would hold this in place. But still, it's not the most secure. So I rarely use this piece, even in that previous version for posing. But for the sake of the picture, I will do it later on. So that is that. And finally, we have the rolling defense, and this is for the left hand. And again, we see the notch here, so for this, we would use this armor piece for that. And of course, this just kind of fits into there again. And this is the one where his hand is over his head, and this thing just kind of folds down like a tornado and just kind of protects him and deflects all attacks that are sent towards him. And a difference between this and that earlier version is that this is actually one solid piece. I really do like this. The earlier piece actually had separate pieces that you had to plug in together to make this rolling defense. And definitely I feel like this is a more premium and a smarter way to actually handle this instead of that. So I really do like this. It's almost like a slinky. Yes, a slinky. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the accessories. Oh, actually, no, I lied. I totally lied. There's another accessory that I really do like, and that is, of course, the statue. And, of course, this is Ikki, his older brother. And here we have Shun. This is Shun himself as when he was a baby. So this was a scene that was in the anime, and it was very touching. It just shows that Ikki really cares for his little brother, and because they were orphans, their parents were killed or something happened, I can't remember, he had to take care of his baby brother for this whole time. And that's why whenever something happened to Shun, Ikki would always be there to save him. So yeah, that's a nice little statue we got here. It's actually in 2 pieces. We have the statue up here, we have these 2 pegs, and this stand is a separate piece, and you just line up the holes, make sure everything fits, and there we have it. So, getting everything out of the way, let's do a quick comparison. I only have one guy here with me, and this is, of course, the previous version of Andromeda Shun. So, this is the new bronze version, and this is actually the revival version. The original version that I had, the joints were extremely loose. I really wasn't a fan of that. So I ended up getting the revival version, and which I think is really nice. I can't remember if it actually came with anything extra, but I just purchased it because why not, right? It's a better figure, the joints are a little tighter, so why not? And of course, this is the brand new final bronze version. So I'm just going to bring them in close here so you can take a quick look between these two. So first thing you might have noticed is the helm. This new version, this final version has a very curved kind of helm piece right there, whereas this one has more linear features to it. The chest piece is fairly similar. This one kind of ends in almost like a more squared off end, and this one's more of a point. Shoulder armor is fairly similar. Wrist armor is fairly similar, but when you go down to the lower leg here, I really do like this new update with the final bronze compared to the new bronze, because here we have thigh armor, whereas this one never had any. And of course, the lower leg armor, I just feel like really looks different here. And I really do love the design on the lower leg armor for this final version compared to this new bronze version. But everything else is pretty much the same, not a lot of changes between these two. So I'm just going to take the previous version out of the picture here. So yeah, final thoughts on this figure. I really do like this new update with Shun. I really do like these final versions of these bronze cloths. This is the 3rd one now. First we had Pegasus Seiya, then we had Dragon Shiru, and of course this is Andromeda Shun. There's 2 more to go. Cygnus Hyoga as well as Phoenix Ikki. I'm really looking forward to that, to finishing off the final bronze versions of these guys. And for the amount of accessories that you get, I really do think this is a very nice figure. He is not P Bandai, so he's actually fairly cheap to acquire. You can actually get him for less than $100 or around that. So that's really, really nice. Like I said, I love the design, I love the colors, I love everything. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye. 近づけるかな夢のかけら大好きな人思い描いた愛の形はずっとずっと探し続けて